Yay, it is going to work perfectly. It is me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, which is music. And if you don't know about that, please Google it, Pearl and the Prayers, or just click the link below, or go click the link to my profile if you're watching on TikTok right now. This that we're doing is Tuned In Tarot, and we are looking at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our external environment, in our interactions with others. And if we want to see change within ourselves, we really do have to make an effort to change how we do. Inside, outside, upside down, it's all on us to change our thinking and our reactions, etc. And so hopefully you will get insight about that process from these readings. And the one random, very long strand of hair that is like tickling me will finally blow away. What is going on here? Okay, we're going to start the way we start every reading with this fun thing that even I enjoy doing right now. So I want you to get centered, take a breath, relax for a sec. And I want you to ask yourself, what do you think you need that would make you feel better right now? Just, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be about a person. It could be about a job. It could be about the environment you live in, or the people who you live with. It doesn't have to be about romance or anything like that, but it can be. But just, what do you think? If this happened right now, I would feel so much better. Oh God, I would feel so much better. So the first thing I thought of, I'm going with that. Today, it wasn't about my person. It definitely is about getting some kind of a windfall so that I can just feel a breath of relief financially right now. So I have that strained feeling. So that was the thing that popped up for me. But what do you think you need that would make you feel better? So that is what your ego thinks you need. If your ego thinks, I'm uncomfortable because this thing isn't here. And so I need this in order to feel, in my case, more secure, in order to feel freedom, liberty, like the song that came up for the feminine energy today, the Miley Cyrus song that she was in. So that is what I think I need to get it. But what do I actually need? Oh, you are the worst. I'm so upset with you. Oh my God in heaven. So the Thoth Tarot has this freaking wild card in it. And it's not associated with any tarot card at all, but it is two perfect triangles that are connecting at just the right points and creating these interlocked patterns in a void. What you actually need right now is like, it's like playing the wild card. Like, if you have the wild card in your deck, you can throw a wrench into everything that's been and just completely change and transform and shake things up so much. Do something that's just so unexpected. Expect the unexpected. Feel like what you really need is for change to come from your perspective of thinking that you know what is going to come. And I want so much for this to just be a tarot card so that I can just be comforted by the meaning, by seeing it very clearly. Oh, I need this. But in fact, what I'm called to see right now is that I need everything and nothing. I need all of the pieces to fall together from not trying to force them together myself. I need to allow something completely wild and unexpected to happen. And I have to have the imagination that is, the universe is so vast that the potential outcomes are so innumerable that there is no way for me to predict what could really happen. And understanding that means all of the readings I see that predict things, those readings are meaningless. That's why I don't really specialize in telling people their futures. I'm a current energy specialist because your current energy tells you more about your future than any tarot reader can tell you. Because all the tarot reader is doing is taking your current energy and accepting that if you continue along the trajectory, this is where you shall end up. But I want to disrupt that. I want to be like, well, this is, I could tell you this is where you're going, or I could tell you that this is where you are, and if you want to go somewhere else, you can. So I want to disrupt that pattern of accepting your fate and put you in control of it, the master of your fate. But ironically, the control that you wield is complete surrender to the unexpected, to the miraculous, and the profound. I hate that that wasn't just a regular tarot card, so I hope y'all know that. And I rolled with the discomfort, and that is what you're supposed to do when greeted with the unexpected. Okay, who goes first today? No one showed their cards. The Divine Masculine was very precise over here about his situation. I feel like I'm going to go with the Divine Feminine first today. Now, let me say, if you are just tuning in now or you have never seen my readings before, I do not read for gender in any way, shape, or form. I am a firm believer in identifying however you would like along a spectrum of masculine and feminine energy, despite your body parts. So you are never going to hear me reading about gender. And if you hear stereotypical generalities, understand that I am talking about an energy that exists within all of us. So I myself am a combination of masculine and feminine. I am not the Divine Feminine, but the Divine Feminine is within me. And my person is not the Divine Masculine, but the Divine Masculine is within him, as is the Divine Feminine. So when I read for the feminine and you think about it only as a feminine message, and you don't think about it as a balanced part of your person, their emotions, their creativity, etc., their openness, their receptivity, then you are limiting yourself because you are not getting insight into their feelings, their emotions, their attitudes towards being open and receiving. You're only ever getting the skewed masculine perspective. You're also denigrating the feminine, just like happens to anyone who identifies along the feminine spectrum in our society. So you're also participating in an age-old action of repression by not valuing the feminine message as much as the masculine. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now and read the feminine message. So this is what is overall on the feminine's mind. This is what she's thinking. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. The four corners have been established in some way. I have completed something. I have ended a cycle on something. I'm finished, kaput. It's over. But the feeling of it's over isn't the death card in this moment, although I'll take that back when I go to the heart space. But in the head space, it's not just, oh, something has died. It's more about the turning of the wheel energy, the turn, the world turns, the changes inherent, and the completion of cycles bringing about the fulfillment of all of the things that you've been asking for in the world. Okay, so the feminine emotional side of self, creative side of self, has ended some kind of a cycle and is ready for a new one to begin, and is feeling on top of the world. I don't feel like this is a bad thing, especially when we look at the headspace, what is in the back of her mind. So underlying all her thoughts and decisions, we see the Six of Pentacles. So what has she done with? She's done being overly generous with people who aren't generous with her. It just doesn't make sense. You know, a person can be nice, really nice, and completely incapable of meeting your needs. And of course, if you aren't capable of meeting your needs either, then you having an expectation of someone meeting your needs is a little circumspect. But if you're able to meet your needs, and you're able to offer things to other people, and you have a balance within self of what you're willing to give and what you're willing to take, and you worked out what is responsible, what is problematic when it's quid pro quo, and what is like more heartfelt and energy and an energetic sort of exchange, even exchange. When that's in place, and the other person who might be very nice is just not meeting you where you're at, you're just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm done, because I kind of given everything to myself that I need in this world. And what I don't need is to have to take what I've made, cultivated, and then give it to someone else because they're not capable of giving it to themselves. So I'm not going to do that. If someone's breadcrumbing me, it's because they don't have enough bread, right? And even if I know they have enough bread, if they don't know they have enough bread, then I'm fucked. It doesn't matter. I can be like, they have so much bread. And the person is like, nope, I don't have much bread. So the future potential of the bread that they have and the actual bread that they have is sort of important. And the divine feminine is just like, I'm closing the door on situations where the reciprocation isn't clear and present. If it's not clear and present, I'm in danger. That's how we're going to say it that way. Divine feminine's like, ooh, guard up, I'm putting something in. This person is not putting the same amount of effort in. Okay, so I'm going to flip over now all of the 6 positions we have for the feminine, because that's how I do the headspace for the feminine on Mondays. And we're going to do the top row first. We have the past energy for the feminine. What has she been working on? The 5 of Wands. Feeling stuck, 1044, feeling blocked, stubborn, unmoving energy. No matter how many times you shed your skin, you're just still trapped in the weird closet cage that they made Johnny Rotten when I was in college, and they kept a boa constrictor in this strange closet of the frat that I used to go to. Wow. Going back to the memories, the deep, deep memories. But it's like, I keep shedding my skin, and now I have new skin, and now I'm bigger and bolder and brighter and more powerful and more beautiful. And I'm in the fucking aquarium still, banging my head, which is now bigger, and against the fucking like clear glass, which is another thing because I can also see what's on the other side. And it's like all this fucking world, but I'm in this glass fucking tank. And it's just like, I gotta get out. Like I can't be in there anymore. I can't be so restricted and so restrained. Not when I've experienced so much transformation and so much growth. This doesn't make sense for me to be stuck here. Why? Why is this happening? Am I not doing enough work? This is a feminine who is now questioning herself. It's Virgo season. Is there a single one of us who isn't like, I've not been doing enough work. Like, I know I haven't been doing enough work. I could be doing way more work, so much more work. I'm guilty now for how little work I've done. It doesn't matter how much work she's done. She's not even giving herself credit for it because she's not seeing the physical experiences. She's blocked in seeing the fruits of her labor. She's stuck in this pattern of feeling like she's working on something and finally getting some kind of a hold over it and finally having that wisdom and clarity. Hi, Carissa. And then no payoff. I worked all day, like the free readings, right? When I gave my lecture at the beginning of this reading, which is I do all this free content and then I try to just give it away and then it doesn't work and I end up being financially unstable and having to ask people to help me when really all along, if I hadn't given away things because I was trying to be, I don't know, like liked more, I guess. But it's not even about being liked too. It's just eliminating the like, oh, let's barter for this. Can we stop this and we have the payment come in and just this like, like quid pro quo energy, right? Like I just want it to flow more, whatever. And then bam, now I don't have anything to show for all the work I did. It's like doing all this work for someone else and then not benefiting from it yourself. And this has taught you this, which is strength. This is controlling your temper, controlling your fears and anxieties, controlling your ego, basically. The part of you that needs to be present. You have to feel confident. You know, I used to do a lot of childcare throughout my life, and I love taking care of children. And I love children between the ages of like 5 and 7 when they are the best at everything. Like, no, they listen, they're gonna be like, let's play this video game. I'm the best at this video game. I'm the best. I'm the absolute best at it. I'm the champion of on all levels of this thing. There is just this confidence that nobody has stripped away from them yet. And it's fun to watch them and it's delightful. I feel delighted when I see kids like that. It's like, you gotta feel that way. You have to feel that way to even want to be able to brave this world where when you're a child, everything is completely new and you're having to remember how to do everything. And you have to have this courage and this bold energy, or you will miss out on a lot of things. You won't be brave enough to like get on the bike or jump in the water, or there's so many things that require that complete confidence. So you need the ego, but you need to have some kind of an emotional assessment of the ego's behaviors that is accurate, that's not triggered from a wound or whatever. All of the work the Divine Feminine has done has just really been about controlling her reactivity to her current situation. If you're bumping your head against a glass cage, you can see the future and you're not seeing the payoff. In the past, this would have caused her to quit, be angry, cuss someone out, like have a lot of issues with the fact that this wasn't panning out. And instead, she's just being in command of that part of self that maybe is so angry, but has had this moment where she has achieved this mastery. So all the work is paying off. You just really need to think about it. You need to have an appreciation for how you choose to function now and how you did in the past, because in the past you would just be really blocked by this feeling of impatience. You had planted seeds and you could see that they could have the potential to grow into something quite bountiful, but there wasn't any obvious growth. Like, you were at a stage where when you woke up in the morning, you know, you're still waiting and waiting and waiting for those fruits to be obvious, to be apparent. Like, the plants are growing, but there's no fruit yet. And you need fruit to be able to actually have completed the cycle of growth, to see whether or not you've fed and given enough light and water to create what you need. You felt so blocked at this period, during this period of having to wait and having to grow and having to just take care of yourself and nurture yourself. And you've had these other energies dependent upon you to like remain patient, to just handle your shit, like not get upset, right? Seeing you in agreement with this, Priscilla. So what is not paying off right now? You're thinking about, well, this is where all the cards came out. The 10 of Swords, the 4 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Cups. Now, these cards came out for the Divine Feminine reading today. And they're here again, or not today, I think, but recently. And so what's not paying off is you're not able to let go of whatever was in this painful separation. You're clinging to it. Look how there's this clinging energy in this. You're clinging to this person, you're clinging to this one person. And it's not paying off. The work that you are doing, it's not really ending the separation with this person. So you're kind of, you're really stuck here. You're not liking this outcome, because the outcome is you have to have the strength to put that shit down. This is the 10 of Wands. That's the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Wands. We're only missing the 10 of Pentacles here. And we already have the World. So you have to put this burden down. The person that you've been in painful separation for, that you are clinging to, you're like, I've done all this work and it's not going anywhere. So you need to put that burden of thinking about that down. You have to be like, okay, I've done all this work and it's not going anywhere. Okay. That doesn't really have to mean anything in either direction. All I have to do is just stop carrying that burden of not being able to put down this person. Thank you for saying that, Sierra. I appreciate that message. So let's look at your heart space now. If you're just coming in, I'm doing the feminine side of self. This is the emotional, creative, open, and receiving side of self. So this would also apply to your person as well as you, because hopefully they have that part of self. The World card from the headspace is being clarified by the Death card. In order to have this, the things you want, you desire in your world, you have to let something die. And I think we know what it is, because it's your ego here, the Strength card. Your ego is causing you to hold on to something, to the fulfillment of something. But you're also like, I've done enough work. I shouldn't have to do more work to receive this. So I'm just done. I'm done. But the thing is, you have to get to the point of being done to be done. If you still feel like there's work to do, there's still work to do. If you're like, I did all I could do. I worked all I could. I transformed again and again and again. Like this analogy of me being in the aquarium, the snake who's grown and changed skin so many times, and I can see this world outside that I still can't get into. I'm done. And I think what comes now is what you've been hoping for, and that's in the back of your heart. What have you been hoping for? A return on my investment, reciprocation. I am completely done investing in whatever I invested in. And now I wish for and hope for and feel a cosmic connection to the payoff, the return of the investment of my time and energy. And it's going to be clear and present, like I said before. That keeps coming back to me, clear and present, and I don't know why. This is crazy, because when we looked at this card in your headspace, the 5 of Wands, the next card after it in the line was this 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, well, your heart is fully aware, because there's the 8 of Pentacles in reverse again. I've done all the work. I've transformed over and over, and I'm still trapped in the aquarium. Where is Harry Potter coming to freaking disappear the glass in my cage so I can fucking attack that little bitch Dudley and his stupid ass friend? Like, let me out of here. I got some shit I need to do. Like, I need to escape, right? I've done all the work. I can't possibly do any more work. If I do any more work and transform anymore, I won't even be able to move. I won't be able to move even anymore in this cage that I'm in, of this limited thinking that I can even consciously see through, but still limited by. What is clarifying this 8 of Pentacles in reverse? I'm not fucking kidding you. The Ace of Pentacles, the abundance and the wealth that you've been seeking. The seed that was planted that now has grown into this garden. I've done all the work, and I feel that it is time to receive a physical manifestation of that work. I keep thinking to myself, I am the oracle. how did they treat the oracle in Delphi? When I've been reading about Plutarch, who was a high priest of the oracle, Plutarch said that the oracle's job was the most draining and most difficult job and required so much, like, the oracle required so much care and attention to be able to do what she does. And I was like, bitch, I'm the oracle. And there's no high priest and high priestess attending to me. So, like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I've had to control my temper and anger towards the inconsistency of this player energy, Knight of Wands energy, this person who goes in and out, hot and cold, this person who entertains other energies, which I was just thinking some nasty things that an Italian girl from New York might say about such energies. But I didn't say them because I have control over what I say. And honestly, even the feeling. But it takes a lot of strength every day. What is clarifying this Seven of Pentacles, this slow growth that is ready to be harvested. But I'm having to harvest on my own whilst taking care of all this other energy. The Four of Pentacles. During this time that I've been growing, planting, watering, I've built a stronger foundation. But the reason that I have been waiting is because, that's right, the Four of Pentacles, which is already on the other side of this Seven of Pentacles. I was waiting because I was holding on to something or someone that doesn't serve me. Opinions, ideas, the fucks people give, I don't know. I'm holding on to something. I know that I have all the tools to manifest what I desire, the end of the painful separation, and the strong and steady foundation needed, necessary to be able to have this Ten of Cups. Happiness, bliss, fulfillment, whatever. I know I have the power to create that, to co-create that. And if I could just put down this burden that I am stubbornly holding on to of this divine masculine energy, I might be able to have what I desire. If I just put down the burden of still thinking about the same person, just let that go and no longer carry shame, this masculine energy within me will be able to finally do its thing. Because right now you're ashamed of carrying this burden with you, and you're going to carry shame for as long as you carry the burden. So you have to put it down, whatever that means for you. That's the divine feminine energy today. Okay. Divine masculine. I don't know what I'm going to do with you. You got to do this to me, though. Why are you doing this to me? Because we're starting out your whole freaking reading here. I guess I don't have to do that yet, but we're getting there. The Three of Wands is in reverse. Starting out your overall headspace. Why? Well, you may have been faithless. Sierra, I'm happy that you're feeling that way. I love that you're speaking everything that I've been forced to withhold within for so long. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you're feeling that. I'm articulating that for you. This is an awareness of the masculine energy that I have been faithless. I have not kept the faith. I saw the future, but I did not wait for the ship to come in. I went and looked at some other ships. And I took so much time doing this. And And it's past time now. Like there's a feeling of, is it too late at this point to recover from all of this that's in the back of my mind, the Three of Cups? From the partying, from the other energies that I slept with, from the career that took away my time and energy, from my ex family, from my children from another marriage, from my addiction that I carry, from whatever the fuck. A third party is a third party. Being faithless is being faithless to the self. Okay? It's not being faithless to someone else. It's having faith in yourself and losing the faith in yourself every time you're faced with the addiction. Every time it's in front of you and you just do it again. And it's way past the time when this should have ended. This is what the masculine is on the masculine's mind. Because I want it to be time for union. And yet I keep doing things that directly affect the ability for us to come into union. I am the thing getting in between union. Not a karmic partner or a whole slew of them. Not an addiction. Not a job. Not anything but me. I'm the thing that is getting between where I am and where I want to be. Me. I'm standing in my own way. Okay, I'm glad you're self-aware of that. That's great. The first thing on this divine masculine's mind, no longer being the thing that stands in my way, by filling up my own cup and not expecting anyone else to do that. And this is what he's been working on filling up his own cup from his connection to the divine so that he can make an offer of love to anybody. And the reason he couldn't make an offer before was not because he didn't have an offer that he's been prepared to make, but because he could not prepare himself to receive not the rejection, which is what he told himself he was afraid of, but the acceptance of it. Because if somebody accepts you exactly as you are, then you have to finally admit that you were worthy of it all along. And then years and years and years of your life and behaviors flash before your eyes, all the things that you did because you thought you were unworthy. And it is a very painful ego death experience. So it's not because he's afraid of rejection. He knows you're not going to fucking reject him. He's afraid of you accepting the offer. Because it means something so much more profound than just you getting into a relationship with someone. It means that you could have entered into a worthy relationship with anyone from the moment you were born, and that you didn't have an opportunity to do so until now. And likely it's many years later after that for you. Maybe half your life. His current energy, pow! The Magician. Both of these energies are feeling completely capable. They have all the tools they need. They are completely accepting of the co-creational process, that it's not them having to do everything, but it is them working with the tools that were provided for them. He is changing the way he is thinking about trusting divine feminine, the high priestess. This is about trusting your intuition. It is about accepting your gifts. It is about tuning into the divine feminine emotional side of self and accepting that he now has the power to fill his own cup because he can love himself with that feminine energy that is within him. He is also really hoping the divine feminine can learn to trust him as he manifests this love for her openly instead of hidden. There's the world again. And we're going to see it again. So there's a completion of a cycle here. And what is this completion? This is very fascinating because I chose the Labyrinth Tarot, which I highly identify with, because I've been in this labyrinth dealing with my masculine energy. So Jareth in this storyline creates this labyrinth to keep Sarah from leaving his fantasy world. He doesn't want her to leave. He wants her to stay with him and become his goblin queen and never return to the living. So he creates this whole thing and tries to prevent her from leaving because he, quote unquote, loves her. Very problematic when you break that movie down into pieces. The masculine has been working on ending this tendency that he has had to try to control a situation by creating these elaborate pathways along which people had to navigate in order to get close to him. And this was just a way of making sure that you're the person who decides how close or how far you are from your center, from your truth, all of those things. And it came from a fear that there was not going to be love, and that you had to keep the feminine in this game. You had to keep her from leaving this game, because the second she did, the love you had would be gone. But when you fill up your own cup, you don't need to play games anymore with anyone, because you're not seeking validation through their love for you. You can admire the divine feminine to the moon and back as being one of the most amazing people that you have ever known, to have ever existed. And you still don't have to do anything to keep her captivated. It's your self-love alone that is captivating once you finally understand that. So this current energy, I am in my power, which means I am no longer in this energy of the Page of Wands in reverse, who literally has this, like, really, it's interesting, this weird creature on the end of a stick that, yeah, I hardly need to kind of go into that more, but I will no longer be allowing my wand to direct me and being immature in how, and not initiate conversation and not initiate change, not tell you what I want to manifest, but to hold back that spark or that energy. Just, I don't need to do that anymore. I can release that inconsistent, ineffective, childish hesitance to explore new things. I'm leaving it behind. And where I'm going is I'm going to trust in this Knight of Wands energy, in the light traits. It's not in its reversal. So it's not coming out like it is for the divine feminine, who has had to control her temper in regards to the love bombing energy that she received from somebody who then just would fuck off hot and cold, sleep with other people, act like a player. Like, she's just like over that, but she's had to overcome that belief that the people who come towards her are like this. And then lo and behold, as she overcomes this belief, this fear that the people in her life are shady, that they are hiding other energies, that they are trying to just give her this peripheral status instead of this main character energy that she's craving in her life. As she releases that, the divine masculine tunes into the light traits of this Knight of Wands, which is not being in that energy, but in actually being swept up by the passion he feels, 1111, to be able to spontaneously come forward without a plan anymore. Trust the intuitive impulse to rush in and proclaim his ideas about the connection. So in his head, he feels rushed, but in a positive way, to come into union, to prove to the feminine that he is not immature, but that he really does want to go forward with her, and that he is not wanting to be playing any more games or putting her and keeping her stuck in a labyrinth, so that he can love her from afar, watching her navigate this painful labyrinth, being in danger sometimes and just being like, well, I would never have let you die. Why did you let me suffer at all? And it was like, well, so that you know, couldn't get away. Uh-huh. And the love part of that, where's the love in that? Oh, it's missing. Because that came from a narcissistic parent like me who taught me that that's how people love. And I had to unlearn that behavior, right? Okay. I'm going to say the headspace that I read just made up for these two cards being the first two cards I was seeing. But at first I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Because at first what I was seeing was the Three of Cups and the Three of Wands in reverse and the Seven of Cups. And I was like, this fucking guy he's entertaining these other options. But once I read through the rest, I understand that is not what is happening here. But my ego was ready for it. But you know what? I checked the ego and was like, let the divine read the messages. And here we are. It's time to make a choice. It's time to end the confusion. What are you confused about? What is confusing? Here, let me break this down. You met a person. That person meets every single possible, even crazy, like, what do you want to say, parameter that you have established for your happiness in nuptials, okay? This person meets things, you're like, wait, you do that? That is how you like that? When did you see that movie? That's the music? How did you find that musician? Like, wait, you hate that too? I hate that show too. Like, those things seem stupid, but those connections that you have that are just so, how did we get like that? How did we get like that? How did we? I don't know. It's almost like at one point in time, we were like, I have a fantasy of somebody and they will have all of these traits. And then when I meet them, I will be with them and I will be able to commit to them and have a wonderful life together. And then the universe was like, okay, that sounds like nice. I think that is nice. That would work well for you. I've got the perfect thing. Let me give you this perfect thing. Here you go. And then you're like, what do you mean? I'm not ready for that. I can't possibly commit to that right now. And how could what did I even know what I wanted when I was saying those things? I don't even know if that's what I really wanted. Like, maybe I wanted something else. What if I changed my mind later? I don't know. I used to like this show. Now I think that show's bullshit. So, like, what if this person doesn't ever stop thinking that this show's bullshit, but I do? And then we fight about that and then we get divorced. Like, that's horrible. I don't want to fucking end a whole marriage over a show that we used to like and now we don't. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to try to find somebody who's a lot like me because I don't even know if they like me that much. And honestly, that's probably the bigger problem here. And I don't want to deal with that. So can we just not do that right now? Let's go into separation for a while because I don't think I'm ready for the thing I asked you for because you brought it to me and it's great. And I just suddenly feel very inadequate to be able to go forward and choose a path with this person. Okay? So that's what's happened. But you got to make a choice. It's time to make a choice. It's time to not be confused about getting the thing you asked for. Oh, you didn't really want it. You just wanted to fantasize about the future potential of it? Okay, well, you're fucked because you thought about it so much, now it's here. So now you either have to get with the program or be depressed because you got what you wanted and you didn't receive it. So I don't know. I didn't sign up for this. This is the job I got and it's the job I have. And so here we are. So what are we ending cycles in regards to? We're ending something? The world is coming out again? And the Divine Feminine was like, you know what? I'm just not going to be in situations where shit's not reciprocated. And the Divine Masculine is like, you know what? I'm just not going to be in situations where I can't reciprocate. I'm not going to have so many parties in here, okay? I'm not going to have so many drinks. I'm not going to have so many behaviors that get in my way. I'm not going to stand so much in my way because I'm going to end up being an old person that might have this wisdom that I didn't take advantage of any of the really good things I had in my life. I didn't take it seriously and I took it lightly and I thought it would always be there. And I was wrong about that because, you know, my Divine Feminine has shown me that, like, while love may be there forever, the ability to have that physical manifestation of it may not. And in this life, there is death. And if I want to experience this now in this life, then I have to stop all of the behaviors that have been in my way. Profound, right? He's still in my heart. What is clarifying? The Ace of Cups, the masculine working on filling his own cup. Oh, just the Emperor. You see what I'm seeing? Because we had the Magician and the Magician, and we have the Emperor, and we have the Emperor, and we have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Wands, and we have the World, and we have the World. I leave anything out? Y'all are on the same page almost entirely, word for word, placement for placement, card for card. The divine masculine is only divine because of his ability to tune into his divinity. If he can't tune into his divinity, he will not act from a place of divinity. He will act from his ego. And this is what he's learned. He's learned to value himself and see himself as worthy of receiving. He now has the power to manifest what? What's that? Oh, the sun. The other card that represents the divine masculine in the deck. And in this case, we see a healed inner child. And the thing is, the child was never unhealed or broken. Never. The child was always whole and perfect and healed. Only the perception of self had to shift. It didn't have to shift into accepting, it's like, oh, now I can love my fat body because I've made peace with fat bodies, or I've made peace with my own body, or no, it's being like, my body is always worthy of my love. I'm not shifting to accept a brokenness. I'm acknowledging there was never anything wrong. That's a huge point of enlightenment. And also that all your power comes from above, cosmically. And now what must you do? You must trust your intuition and end this painful separation. And you must do it now. That is the feeling here. This impulse to end this cycle of keeping the feminine, I shit you not, suspended. We have the Hanged Man, which has a feminine suspended here. Suspended in your labyrinth, on the hook, wriggling, so that you could make sure you knew where she was and who she was with, and who she was focused on, because you did not have an inherent sense of worthiness that would make you understand that, of course, she's focused on you. She would never be focused on anyone else. Are you daft? Are you absolutely daft? Like, what's clarifying this Page of Wands in reverse? The Six of Wands, which came out in the masculine reading today as what he was hiding from the divine feminine. Oh, I'm not going to hide you as a secret anymore in this immature and childish manner. Deny the connection, deny the spark, deny the chemistry. Say we're just friends when we're not just friends. That's not going to happen anymore. I have overcome the part of myself that was so immature as to be resistant to exploring this connection with you out in the open. And I'm bringing you a peace offering right now. And that peace offering includes, I will publicly acknowledge you in my life. You will be publicly acknowledged by me. And this Knight of Wands, this rushing energy, this impulse to go in and end this separation swiftly, it's grounded in reciprocation, which is also on the divine feminine side. Holy shit. That's a lot of synchronicity in terms of these cards across 4 different decks that I use, which is why I use so many decks. That, and I'm just an absolute slut for all of these cards. I love them. I want them all. I want to fuck with all of the decks. You want to send me a deck so I can have these cool synchronicities for you and have fall colors and winter colors and spooky colors and everything. There's a link in my profile. You can send me a deck, and I appreciate all the decks I get so much. So thank you, because this is a really cool part of when I read, is seeing all of those really amazing synchronicities across the board. You know, it's not just one occurrence where, wow, we got the world 3 times. There are multiple placements with similar meanings, same cards coming out in those positions. Fascinating. Okay. This looks like 2 people who are thinking alike. They are complementing one another. This isn't butting heads. This is being somewhere in agreement. Even if you think about the situation differently, your thoughts align. So you're in that chariot energy of being able to move forward because you've individually learned to work as a team. And that is how your head and heart should look. So this masculine is wanting to achieve a union with you. He is wanting to reciprocate all that you have given him. And you are fully expecting the masculine energy to reciprocate in this way. You are prepared to receive it. It's like you're on your own throne expecting the emperor to show up who looks just like you. All right, now we're going to enter into the oracles. And we're going to start with the divine feminine side of self. This is the most important part of the reading because this is where I actually give you the guidance that will help you shift the energy from where you currently are to where you want to be. This is an energy I like. I want to keep this energy going. I think reciprocation is the best thing that we could possibly see in the reading. So I'm excited for you in regards to that energy, and I want to take everything that's working well and keep it there for you, and everything that's not serving you, help you shift it. So let's get started. Divine feminine. The feminine side of self is in the light traits of the healer energy. So you are no longer failing to care for yourself. You are caring for yourself right now. You have a passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So you know that you have to repair yourself before you can help others. And you have to transform your own pain into healing. And you're absolutely in the light traits of this week. You are in a positive flow with your healer energy. And you want to continue to take care of yourself so you maintain that in your work that you're doing. It's definitely mission work for those of you that applies to. You are getting an emphasis right now on this divine feminine energy from Saint Mary Magdalene. And on her card, we have forgiveness energy. Now, we associate Saint Mary Magdalene with prostitution. However, I just want you to know that that is actually not biblical. And that might be like, what? Kind of shocking because it's so standardized, a concept that we have associated with Mary. But Mary of Magdala was never ever actually referred to as a prostitute. There was a person who was interpreting the Bible, and he was actually not even writing anything in particular about it. He was giving a speech, and in the speech he associated Mary with prostitution because he associated with her with one of the characters in the Bible who had 7 demons expelled from her, which would have included the demon of lust. And because this guy probably got his rocks off thinking about the ladies of the night, he just called her a prostitute because any woman who had to expel lust from her is obviously somebody who would be a prostitute. Okay, so that might open your eyes up to this saint because she's been maligned throughout time because of this random religious dude making some passing statement about her. But she wasn't a prostitute. She was a follower of Jesus. And truthfully, we don't even know if she was the same woman who had the 7 demons expelled from her. We just know that she was really important in the ministry of Christ. We also know that she wrote her own book of the Bible called The Gospel of Mary Magdalene that was discovered later and rejected by the church. But it exists, and you can read it, and you can read the commentary on it. It's very fascinating. She was the ultimate follower of Christ. She was the first person to see him upon resurrection. She was the first person to tell the apostles of his resurrection and the conversation that only she had had with Christ. No one else had that after he was born, or after he was died and reborn, until she did. So she's a major part of the story on the Bible that's completely reduced almost down to nothing and maligned by being called a prostitute when she wasn't. So hope that gives you some enlightenment about Saint Mary Magdalene. But the reason that she's here, I think, and honoring this forgiveness energy is because, first of all, you know, she had to be forgiven of her sins or acknowledged in the forgiveness of sins. That was part of the whole ministry of the cult of necromancers that became the Christians, the Catholic Church. So forgiveness is this huge part of this storyline. And the reversal on it for me, and the kind of patient look that we get from her, you're not going to hold it against the masculine energy that he had other parties, are you? Because you've entertained a lot of third-party energy. And while it may not have been in the form of a sexual partner, I could list all of the myriad ways in which it's true for you in your life and standing between you and what you desire. So standing in the place of forgiveness with this masculine energy is very important for you. And Saint Mary of Magdalene is here to help you do that. She is basically the consort of Christ, and probably most likely his wife, even though she was not actually touted as such. But who knows? She's here. So if you want to go learn more about her, I highly encourage you to do that. And she is supporting you in your feminine energy. This card, this ritual card of well-being, is in reverse. So I have a feeling that you might have slipped out of your habits for well-being because you were getting a little fed up about having done all the work and transforming and not seeing any change. And so looking for those end results and not seeing them, you might have just been like, well, what is meditation doing for me anyway? What is eating well doing for me anyway? What is well-being doing for me anyway? Well-being is your natural state. So when you aren't flowing with those behaviors that make you feel well, you're actually rejecting your natural state. And you're doing that for a reason, and it's not something to be ashamed of. It usually indicates that you need to go through a period of growth, because not attending to your well-being puts you into a funk, and a funk creates the discomfort needed for you to figure out where your thoughts are still limited, right? Remember, you're in a cage. You're the snake that has shed its skin 1,000 times and has outgrown its aquarium. And you need to know that to get out of it, right? The mindset that you need to cultivate this week is, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. You know, I am being challenged in my journey, and I'm observing this happening for my person. And I'm finding myself tempted to feel wounded in the way that I had in the past. But when I try to tune into the feeling, immediately this logic comes in that levels me out, and where I can't stay in a place where I'm afraid that my person is actually caring about someone else, or any of the things that used to get me to believe that it wouldn't work out. I just keep seeing that the reason I'm being challenged is to prove to myself that I no longer hold these limiting beliefs, and see beyond those limits of fear, and see that if my person, this is one of the logical things that I have thought in the last few days, if my person is involved with someone else, they deserve each other. And I don't deserve to be treated the way that that other person is willing to be treated. Because while that person has my person's attention, we all know at the end of the day who the secret messages are for. So their relationship isn't one that I would want. And I certainly wouldn't want to be with my person when they're in a state where they are willing to put that person in that position. So I don't deserve to be treated that way, and they deserve each other right now. And they're working out their own thing. And it's not about me, and it never was. And the only thing I get sad about is that I still see myself in this limited way, where I still have this doubt that I am not chosen. That's what I get sad about. But I don't get sad about my person doing something to me. I get sad that I'm still doing something to myself energetically through my thoughts. And I just need to shift that. And it's not about my person or who my person is with. And I try to find joy in some aspects of it. Like, realizing that I can see what's going on and kind of having that insider's look and just being like, oh, okay. My ego gets off on that. That feeling of like, okay, buddy. Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? How come if you're so happy, you don't act so happy? Like, right? My ego loves that. So, you got to get some thrills in this life. All right, let's see. Now is a lucky time, Divine Feminine. A sunny meadow calls, and Rabbit Spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren and into the light so that you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. You are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with, but have no fear. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy Rabbit Spirit's sunny and prolific energy. At this time, whatever you intend to bring to life will find fertile ground. There are no mistakes, really, when you are co-creating with Spirit, so let new ideas spring to the surface, knowing that now is a lucky time of tremendous possibility. Divine Feminine, that Wheel of Fortune energy for you. Okay. Your dusk energy in the connection is Thistle, number 37. So this is guidance for the body and mind. There's also a timing associated with this card. I believe that it is fall. Yes, it is a fall energy. And it says, thistles may be spiky and unwelcome, but they provide a valuable food source to birds and pollinators. And it is for this reason that the thistle card represents true fulfillment. Like the thistle, you have so much to give, and the world around you is ready to give back. Your found family is there to help you on your journey as much as you have helped them on theirs. This joint relationship is the most emotionally satisfying of all, and the pleasure of providing for others is its own reward. Wow, that's really significant for me. I don't know about you. The dawn energy is number 9, the chickweed. It is in the springtime, and this deck is cool. It has 2 books, a dusk book and one for the dawn as well, and it's a gorgeous deck, actually. And chickweed says, in Japan, chickweed is seen as lucky and is included in another card of luck, and is included in a dish prepared for the festival of Nanakusa no Seku, the festival of 7 herbs. Chickweed and other early herbs are gathered on the morning of January 7th and prepared whilst reciting a prayer for good luck. New growth is fast to appear at the beginning of spring, and the first green leaves are a good omen of things to come. A period of waiting is over. Results are starting to appear. Fortune's blessings will soon be yours. Wow, Divine Feminine, that looks very good to me, especially because It's saying a period of waiting is over, and you can see the divine feminine is done keeping the feminine suspended in this labyrinth. He's not going to do that to her anymore. He's going to be clear and present. That keeps coming out. It's so weird. Okay. Divine feminine. Oh, honey baby cakes. Your theme, my dear, is the Ten of Swords, which came out now 3 times in this reading. And the Ten of Swords is about the end of painful separation from what you desire, and the only thing separating you from your desire is the prison of your own mind, the thoughts that keep you stuck and unmoving. And I'm seeing you say you want to cry. I'm sending love. You have to embrace that separation is here because you needed it. That's all. It's very simple. It's here because you needed it. Just you. Not your person, not anyone else involved in the situation. You needed separation because you have thoughts that keep you stuck in old patterns and refuse to let yourself be reborn to a place where these thoughts won't hold you back. So you needed the separation to figure out which of these thoughts that you've been having repetitively for however long you've been in this connection with your person that is preventing you from doing and being and having. That is what you really need to think about this week. And when I say think about it, I don't mean overthink about it. I just mean keep it in mind. When you are feeling frustrated, I want you to think, what thoughts am I thinking right now that I've thought before, that are just like this, that are making me feel similarly? That's the only detective work you really need to do. Identify a time when you thought the same way and a similar thing happened, okay? Can you go back a bit further than that? Can you go back further than that? How about a little further? Can you go back as far as you can remember when you've had the feelings associated with this moment right now and similar thoughts? Those are the thoughts that you need to shift. And shifting thoughts is as simple as identifying the ones you keep having and replacing them with better feeling thoughts. And I remember learning that from Abraham Hicks a long time ago and thinking that that was such a mysterious process, and it's not. It works like this. You watch tarot card readings every day, I'm assuming, because you're here and you've stayed this long, so this is something you do. And when you see these tarot card readings, they repeat messages, and you get annoyed because it's the same messages again and again, over and over. And those messages are pretty consistent across the collective. The divine masculine loves you, but is not able to commit at this time because of outside obstacles. So, the thoughts that you're having right now is, there are things that I love and want in my life, but I can't have them. I can't commit to having them. I can't keep them. I don't know if they will stay forever. Whatever it is, you are thinking that right now. And instead of trying to figure out what you're thinking that about, don't even do that. I just want you to think to yourself, I am committed. Not my person is committed or all the people who show up in my world are committed. I don't even care if you do that affirmation. I want your affirmations to be about yourself because that's the only thing you can control. So I want you to just start saying, I am committed. I have so much commitment to the desires of my heart. How is it that I am this committed to my soul's purpose? And I just want you to repeat that all the time. And if another message that comes out of your readings is, my person is indecisive and doesn't make a decision, I want you to start saying, I am decisive. I have so much ease making decisions. How is it that it's this simple for me to make decisions and they always seem to work out? I want you to start doing that, to shift your thoughts. because it's your thoughts that are creating your reality, not anyone else's thoughts, just yours. And it might not seem like it, but if you practice this for a little while, you are going to see a difference. I know I have in my life. And I have varying degrees of success with it. And it depends on my consistency with meditation, with affirmation work, with motion, with eating nourishing foods. When I spend some time, even only a little bit of my time of my day, trying to do something in alignment with those areas of my life, I always get closer and closer to where I want to be, inevitably. So trust me on that. All right, masculine's turn. Masculine energy. Addiction is here. It is in reverse, because right now you need to release the shadow attributes of compromising your integrity and honesty and allowing an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. No more. You need to recognize and confront your addictive behavior. And before you get on your high horse and point your finger at a person that is masculine in your life, get in front of the mirror and make sure you're pointing directly at yourself, because there is an addictive behavior that you are not recognizing and confronting right now. You do something on repeat, and it's a comforting thing, and you keep doing it. And it probably looks like checking their Instagram, focusing on that person all the time, watching a ton of tarot readings, eating certain foods, drinking certain substances, smoking certain substances all day, even if it doesn't feel like anything anymore. Sound familiar? Also binging shows, shopping a lot. There's all kinds of addictions. So don't just point your finger at your person, but take a look at yourself and ask, is there a place where I can recognize and confront addictive behavior that I have right now? Does confronting addictive behavior mean you confront it with shame? No. You confront addictive behavior with love, or you perpetuate addictive behavior. Those are your two choices. Either you say, oh, you are really going through some painful, limiting thoughts right now that are hurting you and keeping you from hearing the communications that you want to hear, that are keeping you from singing your song. And I am sorry that is happening to you. And I can't imagine how painful that is. And I can't imagine some of the things that other people would do to try to stop feeling this way. And I am so proud of you for trying to do every single thing you try to do to keep this from taking you down. And even if the behavior that you have developed is less than ideal, I'm still proud of you for trying to manage something the best way you could, rather than just giving up. I'm proud of you for doing that. And I think there's probably something else that you could do that would make you feel even better than this thing, and also eliminate some of the shame you might feel for that thing that you're currently doing. You're approaching it with love. Two guardians coming out for the Divine Masculine. Padre Pio and Pause. And they're in reverse. And here's the big loud message for the Divine Masculine. You don't need to pause the show while you're healing. If you pause the show while you're healing, the show never plays, because you're always healing from now until you go. And you're not healing this vessel that you're in because it's imperfect. Instead, you're healing the mindset that taught you that it wasn't perfect from the beginning. It was created by the Creator. Everything around us is absolute perfection. It's synchronistic, it moves together, it flows effortlessly. Everything is affecting everything else in this delicate and beautiful and miraculous dance. So there was never anything wrong with me. There was never anything I needed to heal. I wasn't broken and I didn't need fixing. Just the way that I thought about myself needed to change, and that is all. So I don't have to keep people out of my life. I don't have to block people. I don't have to make them wait for me to finish healing my addictions. I just need to embrace and accept and confront them and be open about them. That's all. The ritual work that you might do has to do with inspiration. You might be feeling uninspired lately. I have not been writing. I have not been doing my morning pages. I haven't been writing music. I've been creating content, which does take a lot of time. And I have been creative, I guess, in terms of reading, but I haven't been doing any of my creative expression work. And there is definitely a feeling of a lack of inspiration. So maybe doing something with the muses, if you're into experiencing source in all of its many forms, which is how I believe source comes. I think every single deity is a manifestation of the one consciousness. So if you're comfortable in working with that consciousness in various permutations, you may want to work with the muses right now. This is something you already know, but something that you really want to hammer in this week. And this is, when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. This is a beautiful energy. For the masculine, just focusing on that inner light that he has been in while he's been in the hermit energy. He's seeing the world through the eyes of love. Snake spirit making an appearance. Kind of glad to see it. Not surprised we are. Time to heal. Interesting healing message for the divine masculine. We had the, you healed enough. All of us need healing at times. And when snake spirit appears, it is time to repair, renew, and replenish yourself and your vulnerable heart. Self-care and maintenance work are needed so that your vitality can arise. Give yourself the space to nourish your own well-being. Vulnerability is necessary for friendships and partnerships to work, which means all of us will have tender emotions at times. Be gentle with yourself and others now. Shed the past and step into a new way of being, for vitality is rising in you. This might be a good time to honor the work you have done to heal, grow, and repair any damage within you, within those you care about, and within your community. Celebrate together how far all of you have come in your healing journey and all that you have created. Unburden yourself of anything that no longer supports wellness, prosperity, positive relationships, and well-being, and open the door for healing to occur. I love that message. All right, your dusk energy, this is guidance for body and mind, is a mushroom. Number 31, I think this is a fall energy. Bless you, Bowie. She's sneezing there behind us. Bless you. Health, wealth, love. Most funguses grow underground and emerge on the surface to form bands of mushrooms commonly known as fairy rings. Common lore suggests that stepping into these rings will put you in danger of being ensnared by fairies, so watch your step. Drawing this card suggests that decisions you have made in the past are already starting to take effect, and for better or worse, you can't change them now. If it transpires that you've made the wrong choice, now is the time to learn from it and make a better decision next time, or you'll be stuck in a never-ending circle of repeating your errors. Your dawn energy is the crocus, number 38. Again, a fall energy. So something happening, a new beginning maybe in the fall, because that spring card kind of from the feminine side indicates that new beginning. Like the stubborn crocus that endures the thickest frosts to bloom, you've always managed to find that part of you that is strong and unmoving when times have been tough. This part of you is a valuable ally. Try reaching for it even when you don't need it. Become familiar with it and employ its determination in your everyday life. It will only benefit you. With this strength in hand, you can achieve anything. That is good to know. And look at what the strength is. It's the truth. Divine Feminine, your theme was to no longer be stuck, right, in these mental patterns that are keeping you in separation. Divine Masculine's energy is the Tower. So this card of oppression, you know what? This is actually the Ten of Wands, not the Ten of Swords. And I read it as the Ten of Swords the entire time because I saw those as swords, but they're not. This is the 10 of wands, which was here. But putting down the burden of oppressive thoughts, pretty much the same message, ending the burden, and probably I was seeing that 10 of swords as what you are burdened by. The end of the oppression, the end of the separation. But so putting down your burden, divine masculine, similarly releasing what is not serving you. And this is also just shaking things up and allowing the divine to intervene on your behalf, because the place where you are is so uncomfortable. You're literally being burnt out of this situation. So release, let go, and brace yourself for that tower moment. I've had a couple tower moments, and it's so interesting because I used to be terrified of tower moments. Not really, but I would be like, oh no, it's going to be so awful, because I would experience them in the past and they would be so destabilizing. And now my foundation is so firm that I do experience tower moments. And I think that in the past they would have made me feel incredibly vulnerable, feel so badly. And instead I just kind of get it's almost like I get like whacked and I'm like, whoa. And then I'm like, oh, okay, we're good. Like, oh shit, I almost completely fell into the doubt that used to drag me under the water and drown me. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, we're good. We're okay. Okay, we're at the final part of the reading. Let me make some announcements for you. For those of you that are wanting to become a member, right now it is only $3.33. It will be changing. It will be going up to $5.55 a month. But if you are locking in that price right now, you will maintain that price for as long as you're an active member. If you cancel your membership, you'll have to renew at the higher level. So if you're interested in membership, what that does include is that on Thursdays and Fridays, I offer the live replays of the full length Tell Me Everything spread and the full length Learn Tarot and Divine Tune-In that I do on Fridays. So both those are available. There's almost 11 weeks now of tarot cards, so you can learn 11 of the Hermetic tarot cards and also get divine check-ins with each one of those readings. Those are pretty cool. And there's a ton of content, which is why I'm raising the price of the membership, because there's a lot more content now. If you are interested in that, click the link in my profile, follow the instructions. You will receive an email with a link to purchase the package at $3.33. And then you can cancel at any time. If you do cancel and the price has gone up, unfortunately, you will have to pay the higher price for membership if you come back. My goal for you, to be honest, is that those memberships are basically rotating. I would love to have like 1,000 people always signed up and constantly canceling the service because they don't need it anymore, because they trust their own intuition, because they don't need to see the Tell Me Everything spreads. They don't, they like, I don't want to see people be a member endlessly because you're watching every single one of those Tell Me Everything spreads. Let me be real. If you're just paying $3.33 a month just to support me and you don't even care about my content, God bless you, because I think that's probably the best place to be. It's a really great, easy, simple way to support me. And if enough people did it, I wouldn't have to really worry about my finances. So I do appreciate those of you that already do it. And if you want to become a member, that link is in my profile to do that. If you want to see me live again, you're in luck, because I do it 6 days a week and I have different themes, and there might be some things you really enjoy tuning into. I offer on Wednesday mornings, I'm teaching a class, The Origins of the Twin Flame Myth. We're looking at Plutarchs on Isis and Osiris currently. It's going to take us a little while to get through that text. If you're interested in knowing the tea about there was so many double numbers just then. It was like 11:55. There was like 11 people in the room. There was a lot of double numbers just then. But if you're interested in learning about the origins of the ideas that we perpetuate as the twin flame story, and you like reading philosophy and spiritual texts, then join me at 8 a.m. on Wednesday mornings for the live, or you can catch the replay each week on YouTube. I did not have a video last week because I was traveling, but there will be one this week. On Thursdays, again, I do the full length Tell Me Everything spread live at noon. On Fridays, I come on around between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. I do a live as well, where we do the Loon Tarot and Divine Tuning. Saturdays, I do the extended Tell Me Everything spread, which means that 3-minute reading I normally do, I extend to its full length. It usually takes about an hour. I do that on Saturdays at 11 a.m. In the evenings, about 4 or 5 days a week, I pop on sometime around 8 to 10 or 11 p.m. to do readings, personal readings, and just hang out with people. On Sunday, I do Nourishing Tarot at 7 in the morning and 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And yesterday we did the third principle of intuitive eating. Next week will be the fourth one. And I'm just going to keep oscillating through them, talking about different themes of nourishment. Okay, that's my weekly schedule. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Let's close out this reading with the energy shared by both masculine and feminine. We have here the heroine energy in reverse. Ooh, you gotta release escapism and a false sense of heroism, and you need to grab that passion for this journey of personal empowerment. It needs to be less about being saved or saving someone, and more about learning how to really do for yourself what you've consistently asked others to do and become disappointed by because it was never their responsibility to do these things to begin with. You're receiving a visitation from Saint Hildegard von Bingen. She is an incredible saint, talented in many different ways. She was a composer, a writer. She had the first female led religious order in the medieval period. She became an abbess. No one had ever done that before. She's incredible. And so she's here to support you in believing in the connection. Any doubt that you might have, she is absolutely here to support you in that belief. No doubt will be creeping in this week because she is there. There is a new beginning available to you if you just reach out. It's just there. Just, take the leap. Trust it. It is here. It is new. It is different. It is not like what has happened before. Happiness is your birthright, period. Happiness is your birthright. You really need to develop this mindset. I was brought here to enjoy my time here. Buffalo Spirit, the abundant universe will provide. I love this. Oh my God, just wait for it, y'all. Okay, let's see. The abundant universe will provide, number 10. Buffalo Spirit comes to you now to remind you of the amazing manifesting power of gratitude and the extraordinary potential available to you when you adopt a mindset of abundance. The ancient people of the Americas saw the buffalo as a symbol of abundance because the herds roamed far and wide and provided so many gifts: the meat, the hide, the bones. The tribes who hunted the buffalo used every bit of them, wasting nothing, appreciative of the abundance. So too do you have many gifts available to you. Buffalo Spirit appears to let you know that you are in a powerful time to manifest your desires, not by force or pushing, but rather by following a natural path that rises up before you, trusting that there is always plenty to go around. Whether it be love, money, inspiration, or support, it's all there for you to claim. When you are grateful, you immediately align yourself with the truth that the world is rich and teeming with resources. There is always more than enough, and you are always enough. At this time, you can expect all your intentions and needs to come into a form that is right for you. Your heartfelt gratitude is making you a magnet for miracles. Buffalo Spirit's message is to remember that you co-create your reality in partnership with Spirit. So offer up your thanks and your prayers even before you see conditions you desire, not just for yourself, but for others too. Then you will quickly see the results in tangible ways. Gratitude has the magic to grow the good. So offer thanks and praise as you acknowledge that all you have, as you acknowledge all that you have and all that is possible. Wow, I really need to embrace the lessons of that card right now. Okay. Oops. Interesting. So your dusk energy is this lavender card. It is number 16. It is which is that springtime energy again of new beginnings. And it is, oh no, I'm just kidding. It is the fall. Summer. It is early summertime. Lavender was so popular with the Romans that they introduced it to every country they invaded. They were some of the first to make use of the oil, dedicating entire factories to its production and using it in hot baths to soothe anxiety and depression, as well as in the disinfecting of injuries. The spirit of the lavender plant is a nurturing, protecting one. This is a good time to embrace the art of self-care. What relaxes and soothes you? Carry this knowledge into every area of your life. Let it regenerate and support you on your march forwards. And your dawn energy is Ivy, number 35. This is the fall. Again, fall being a major player here in this reading. You're almost there, just a little further. Like the tenacious ivy vine, there is no height you can't reach in your journey to find the sun. The climb might seem impossible at times, and occasionally you'll feel as though you're making no progress at all, as walls and buildings block your path. But slow growth is still growth, and your achievements will be all the sweeter for how difficult the climb has been. Don't give up. So interesting because there's beautiful vines out in the backyard where I've been taking Bowie all summer to just walk around and play and stuff. And I've just been watching their progression, and I just can't believe how much those vines have transformed the space over this entire summer. And, you know, it's been months, and now they are over everything, and soon the fall will set in and they will die again. It's just a fascinating process to see how it actually seems like it happened really quickly, but it didn't. It happened very slowly. And so that's something to keep in mind. The final card of this entire reading is the card of Temperance. In the Thoth Tarot, it is called the art card because it is the art of satisfaction. It's the pouring of one cup to and from another without losing anything. And it's the card of alchemy. It's about higher level relationships. It is about divinely protected relationships. It is being calm, being assured that everything that you need is provided for you. And there's nothing for you to do but allow the fulfillment of this love. That's it. So great. Good luck with that. I'm going to go ahead now and end this YouTube live feed, and I will see you again on Wednesday at 8 in the morning for class. You can watch the class that I did 2 weeks ago and the intro to that class if you want to catch up with us. Otherwise, I will see you there. And for those of you that are watching on TikTok right now, I am going to do personal readings for anybody who wants one. It is $22 for a question and $33 for a when will it happen spread. I also have a lover's path spread that I'm willing to do today as well for $33. If you're interested in that, head over to the TikToks if you're here on YouTube, and I will be doing those paid readings. Otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday, dear YouTube. Take care.